What is up, my cutouts cardboard ninja coming at you with a teensy tiny, just the smallest of updates, just the smallest of updates this February 14th. Happy Valentine's Day. Just the tiniest of updates. Congratulations, they've nerfed the assembler immediately because you a-holes wouldn't stop using it. It's a really small update. They're just duking immediately on the assembler. The damage with a full charge without the perk is reduced by 37.5%. Maximum damage under the effect of the perk was increased from 175% to 280%. Might be wondering, what? That doesn't make any sense. Long story short, what you assholes were doing, and I know you were, because everyone's been slapped around by this stuff, because this was the new Astreus, basically. Just your rapid fire, instantaneous 500 damage per shot every second Astreus. But anyway, yeah, so full charge means before your weapon overcharges. So you hold down the button to fire. Once the thing fires charged up to full, you let go. Pew, right? That was doing, with 10 stack of the Catalina, 520 some odd damage or something like that. Well, they're reducing that by 37.5%, because the sheer fact that you could poop out somewhere in the neighborhood of, what, 2,000 damage, which is enough to destroy nearly every weapon in the entire game in 4 seconds. A little bit much, right? A little bit much, especially seeing as you don't even need to aim for the weapons. You just punch through their frame. You can punch everything. Anyway, long story short, the maximum damage is being reduced by 37.5%. Off the top of my head, that would mean that maximum damage drops from like 500 to, geez, I have to do math. That's not good. Yep, you hear a calculator in the background. You hear that. You hear that. But that's okay. Point. Oof. To 312.5. That's with a 10 stack. So previous 10 stack would be around 500 something damage. With the new 10 stack of the Catalina, it's down to 312.5. But, and this is true, the maximum damage, which used to be set at 175% for a full overcharge. So in case you guys didn't know, the assembler could overcharge. You hold down the button, it opens up like a rose petal. If you charged it over the actual charge amount, you entered an overcharge state, and that did more damage. Problem was, it wasn't enough. This is the reason why people weren't using it in the first place. And then after they buffed it, they still weren't using it because it's more damage efficient to just fire off 100% damage charges than it is to charge up an additional 175, because you could simply fire it off that much more. So they are increasing the overcharge damage to 280%. And according to what they're saying here, there's, long story short, it should be the same damage. So a fully overcharged shot before now should do the same damage as a fully overcharged shot now. The only thing is, regular charge shots, they just suck now. You know, I mean, 312 isn't bad with a 10 stack, but I'm doing the math in my head just now. That's for 2 similar. So maybe it's not as good as it was. Maybe a 37% damage nerf that's pretty huge, actually, if you think about it. That is pretty huge. Basically, that would mean that for every 3 shots you fire now, that would be the equivalent of, I think, 2 shots before. But yeah, there you go. You guys just wouldn't leave it alone. You guys just wouldn't stop hovering around and blasting people with assemblers, and now look what happens. This is what happens. This is what you get. Anyway, it says the current change retains the convenience of fast charging, but reduces overall damage. So now in the range from 0 to 2 seconds, it's higher than it was before Frostbite Assault update, but, you know, it's garbage. And from 2 to 4 seconds, it's identical to what it used to be. So nobody really charges it for full 4 seconds, because it wasn't worth it before, and it's probably still not, but, you know, at 2 seconds, maybe it'll still be worth using. I don't know. I actually didn't build a second assembler because I saw this shit coming. I saw this shit coming. I knew this was going to get nerfed. I saw that and I was like, oh my god. Oh my god. This is amazing. This is fun to use and does tons of damage. It's never going to stay. Anyway, they refined the sounds of the Mastodon. They fixed a bug preventing the Phoenix Crossbow from charging Jay's perk, which is interesting because I think the reason why was because it like timed out or something. Because the thing is, it lands, even if you hit the perk, it does no damage on the hit. And it's on the hit that the Phoenix determined, or not the Phoenix, but that J determined whether or not you got the perk. And so if you hit and do 0 damage, it didn't charge it. Refined a number of environmental object maps on the maps for armored aircraft, sure. Updated the sorting list of portraits, sure. Fixed the collision model of the Helicon. Ooh. So for those of us who don't know, like the Helicon's really interesting, and so is the Waltz, because it's a triple barrel launcher, but it actually fires the missiles before the top position, and so I think that's what they're trying to fix here. Fixed a bug with an incorrect indication of the Kronos cabins perk. Interesting. Improved the model of the cryoduct decor. Fixed a bug that caused damage upgrade from Quasar and Pulsar not to affect the damage from a projectile hit. So the Quasar and Pulsar recently got bullet damage. What they're saying is that damage upgrades, meaning if you had got like the 5% damage buff on a fusion or something like that, it didn't affect the projectile damage. It only affected the blast damage. And so they passed that on to the blast or the projectile damage as well. The Narwhal Cryo Cannon and the Jotun Howitzer had textures improved, fixed bugs missing enemies and allies, and triangulate this mission, and improved a number in-game texts, descriptions, and icons. They just straight up nerfed the assembler. They just straight up nerfed it. But anyway, we all saw it coming. Anybody who didn't see it coming was a damn fool. I hope you made your assembler money while you could. All right, guys. Catch you on the next one. Peace.